Welcome, one and all, to episode 463 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, here as always with my suspenders set to maximum stun. Got a great show for you today. We're going to be playing some Rage 1 after our Q&A at the beginning. When we last left off, I was in some sort of hospital, having a really hard time with a giant ogre-like creature. I was being excoriated by the chat for how poorly I was playing. So that's where we're leaving off, and hopefully I'll play a little bit better this time. The chat, thank you very much, was telling me exactly what I needed to do. So we'll see if I do any better. I want to beat this ogre, and then we can move on with the rest of the Rage gameplay in preparation for the release of Rage 2. Pleasure to have everybody on the chat today. Many special thanks to my Discord mods. We just passed a milestone on Discord, 13,000 members of our Discord community. That's one of the largest gaming Discord servers ever. So that's great. Thank you very much to the mods who have been keeping the server nice and tidy, making it a better place for more people. I will be monitoring the chat here on YouTube and also the Stream Questions channel on Discord. If you want an invitation to the Discord channel, I believe I have a link to it in the description below, so you can check on that. I know, yeah, so it has been a crazy week this week. Last week was pretty crazy. This week has been even more crazy. So this week was E3, and Bethesda dropped quite a few bombs on us. We finally learned exactly what Fallout 76 is going to be about. And I'm cautiously optimistic. And if I'm honest, I'm actually more excited than I was at the very beginning, because the more I think about it, the more I see gameplay footage, the more I talk with other players, the more open I am to the idea of a multiplayer Fallout, and the more excited I get, especially after watching the No Clip documentary, which really answered many of my questions. There was a recent interview with Pete Hines where he really assuaged many of my fears as well. So I'm feeling much more comfortable about it, and I'm starting to really look forward to it. So anyway, today we're going to be talking a little bit about that. We can talk about all of the news that we've had this week. I tried to keep everybody up to date. I produced 2 or 3 videos about it, took voracious notes over every single interview, and then shared those with everybody. So I think everyone in the chat today should be fairly up to speed. We released one LA Noire video earlier this week, so we're up to episode 3 in our LA Noire series. We're chumming along here. Or churning along here. Chumming, like fish chum in the water, I don't know. Anyway, we're getting through it, and I'm having a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are enjoying that. And then I released episode 1 of my short Ultra Lux miniseries here. We're going to be talking about the White Glove Society and Fallout New Vegas. Episode 1 is done. There will be 2 more episodes. 1 episode tomorrow where we will finish the quote-unquote good way to solve the quest. And then episode 3 on Sunday where we will complete the quote-unquote evil way of solving the quest. So 3 episodes in this short series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Then after that, I'm going to be diving right into my next Story of Fallout New Vegas faction series. So we've already done the Story of Fallout New Vegas up until we have to choose a faction. Then I played to the end of the game with House. All of that content is already on my channel, but there are 3 more factions we can side with in Fallout New Vegas. I'm working on faction number 2. Right now. So I'm capturing footage for that. That's what I've been doing all day today. So no video tomorrow, but I will have a video for you Saturday and Sunday. And hopefully by then I will have captured all the footage I need to start my new series on the full story of Fallout New Vegas. I'm having a blast. I got a brand new intro song done that I think you're really going to like. I can't wait to animate it. So it's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get into the Q&A, it's time for cigars, right? We can't have Scotch and Smoke Rings without cigars. I'm running low on my La Aurora Corojo. Am I pronouncing it right? Corojo. 110th anniversary edition. My box is almost empty, but I do have a few left. So, we're going to be smoking one of those. And then I bought a brand new bottle of Scotch. This is Cragganmore, a brand I don't typically have, but I wanted something different. Single malt Speyside Scotch whiskey. 12 years old, and loving the box art. Beautifully engraved. We'll crack this open. Now, I have noticed, in the past, I've really tried to gain that first opening of the cork experience, but I've discovered that when the bottle is full, the cork doesn't have much room to make a resounding popping noise inside the bottle. It's filled with too much liquid. So this may be slightly disappointing once we actually get it open. But here we go. Here's the $1,000 sound right here. Are you ready? Oh! And it was much more impressive than I thought it was going to be, although I did knock the microphone. There we go. That's much better. All right, we got our bottle of scotch. I've got Scotch on the rocks. I know there are some purists out there who say, "Hey, Oxhorn, really only drink scotch straight up. We don't have ice with our scotch." But there is a reason behind the fact that you do drink scotch with ice. There is a reason why scotch and water has been such a delicacy. And that's because it is the act of the melting ice that not only produces the chill that chills the scotch, but it's the mixture of the water and the scotch that releases the floral notes. I'm trying not to crack up by talking like this. The floral notes of the scotch, making it a much more beautiful beverage. Cheers. Not bad. Not bad. Can't complain. All right, so since this is the 110th anniversary of the La Aurora Corojo, I've got this annoying band on the foot of the cigar, which I got to take off. And every time they do that, they glue a part of the band to the wrapper itself, which of course means that you could likely rip it to pieces. I know many of you are going to have broken hearts watching me light this thing with a Bic lighter, but it's all I got. And it's dependable. I don't care. It's fire. Come on. I know, Hellboy too. Yeah. Ah.
But Oxhorn, the fuel from the Bic lighter imparts a nasty aftertaste into the cigar, and you don't get the pure flavor of the English-grown tobacco leaf.
Be quiet. I don't care.
But Oxhorn, a true aficionado.
I told you to be quiet. I don't care. I can't tell you how much I enjoy this part of the week. I always look forward to Thursdays because I can this is my job. Right? I'm working right now. I'm getting paid for this. I don't have to do anything but just talk with all of you, smoke my cigar, and drink some scotch. Having a good time. Sparty Green says, "You defend yourself every time you light your cigar, but I never see anyone criticizing me." It's not the live chat where people criticize the way I light my cigar. It's always the comments of the video after it publishes. Go back a few days or a few weeks of Scotch and Smoke Rings, and you'll see them. They come out.
And Oxhorn in Hellboy 2.
Care about Hellboy 2. I realize this is improper, and I don't care. Dawson Holiday with a tip says, "I was nervous about Fallout 76 at first, but with every interview Pete and Todd with every interview Pete and Todd do, I feel better and look forward to it." Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I streamed their E3 announcement live on this channel, and so you got to see my raw, unadulterated reactions to the news, and it did shock me. I have to admit, I know we had been warned, but I wasn't entirely expecting the news that we got. So I was a little, trying to prepare, trying to understand it, and Then, with each, they were really quick. Like the very next day, Todd is there doing 2 interviews. The day after that, he does 2 more interviews. Then Pete Hines, the day after that, does one. And then Todd does another. They really worked hard at E3 to try and answer all of our questions and soothe our concerns. And every time I watched an interview, just like you, Dawson, I felt better. I was much more interested. Especially after watching the No-Clip documentary where I got to see some more gameplay. Vellingham says, speaking of New Vegas Oxhorn, you know you're good when your fans still get the same reaction to your videos as they did watching them the first time. I've watched your episode on the story of Randall Clark several times and I still cry. You know, thank you, but it's just a wonderful story. It's one of those stories that Obsidian crafted where it's so human. It's one of those, and you know, there are a few stories like that in Fallout 4 as well. The Turnquist family springs to mind, the Big John Salvage, the tragedy at Big John Salvage, the woman at Egret Tours Marina. There are a few, and of course the Ranger Cabin, the pregnant teenager at the Ranger Cabin. There are a few stories like that Bethesda did really well in Fallout 4. The story of the survivalist. It's not a story about the Cold War. It's not a story about nuclear missiles. It's not a story about secret codes and espionage or defending against raiders. It's the story of one man's survival while trying to maintain his humanity. How he deals with the tribals, with the children that he sees who came from Big Mountain, because that was the original source of the sorrows. After the apocalypse, children escaped from Big Mountain, where they were being experimented on. These were likely Chinese, small Chinese American children who had been sent to Big Mountain to be experiments. And they managed to find their way to Zion Canyon, whereupon the survivalist took pity on them and raised them up. I mean, and then with his second wife, it was just, it was a very human story. So, I'm right with you on that. Calhoun says with the tip, maybe it's just me and my pessimism, but I don't really see how Fallout 76 could ever be canonical. I mean, it sounds like it's just going to be an online playground. Well, it is going to be an online playground, but you have to understand that there are 2 sides to the lore of Fallout 76. The first is going to be the player-made lore, which is how we interact with each other. It's the things we choose to do. It's the nuclear missiles we choose to launch. And then there's the concrete lore. The lore that is set in stone before we ever log into the game. The lore that isn't affected by how we choose to play the game. And that part of the lore is canonical. And it's the same thing with the single-player experience. Every single person gets a copy of Fallout New Vegas, for example, and all of the lore of Fallout New Vegas is concrete. It's set in stone. It's there. Now, we can interact with that lore in a variety of different ways, but that interaction is not canonical, right? If I decide to side with the White Glove Society in my game and restore the White Glove Society to their, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but if I choose to do that, that doesn't mean that it's canonical. It may be my headcanon, but only Obsidian or Bethesda can decide what is the actual final canon of that game. Just like what Bethesda did in Fallout 3. They decided that the canonical ending to Fallout 3 is that the Brotherhood of Steel won, and they took over the Capital Wasteland. They made that decision. So no matter who we sided with in Fallout 3, no matter what we did, we were wrong. And it's going to be the same with Fallout 76. There will be holotapes and terminals and notes and stories and quests that we find in the game that we can't change. Like, we can do those stories, we can read those terminal entries, but we can't write them. We can't change them. Those are set in stone. And that is the lore, the canonical lore of Fallout 76. Whatever we choose to do in that world, that's us playing the game, just as if we were playing a single-player game. And that won't be canonical. Unless, of course, Bethesda decides to make it canonical when they produce Fallout 5. If/when they produce Fallout 5. Jesse Spain says, I know you're tired of this question, Oxhorn, but how much longer until the dedicated Legion video? Soon. You won't have long to wait. Let me just put it that way. And it's not a dedicated Legion video. It's a series of Legion videos. The Legion, after all, is one of the 4 factions you can side with in Fallout New Vegas. So if I'm doing a series on House, naturally I will do a series on Legion. The Legion. So that should come up soon. Will it be my next one? I don't know. Maybe. Is it what I'm capturing footage on now? Have I been running around the fort doing quests for Caesar? Is that why I did a series on the White Glove Society? So that I could have that casino done? So that I could convince them to turn... Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but either way, side with the Legion? Maybe. Maybe that's why I did a series on the White Glove Society. Maybe it's because the Caesar's Legion is next. I don't know. I'm just, talking here. Thank you, new sponsor, Victor Wirtz. Mr. Ozone says, hey, Oxhorn, big fan of yours. Love all your videos. Look forward to every single one. By the way, your beard is fantastic. Thank you very much. Snazzy Feather says, will you play Fallout 76 with Camelworks and Mr. Matty Plays? I'd be interested in seeing something like that, and I'm sure others would too. You know what? All of these awesome YouTubers who do Fallout content, they kind of have their own agendas. I'm always open to collaborations, but, we also really enjoy doing our own things. Pardon me, and telling our own stories. So I'm open to the idea of doing a collaboration, but I think that I'll probably be primarily making my own content. Dawson Holiday says, on an unrelated matter in response to Our Synth's People, the video you made, Our Synth's People, I agree, and I'd like to think of synths, ghouls, and super mutants as a subspecies of human. Well, I'm sympathetic to your viewpoint. I'm with you in many regards. I don't know. Okay, so synths can't get pregnant. And super mutants can't reproduce. Because they have no functional, genitalia. The only question I have is whether or not non-feral ghouls can reproduce. I doubt they can after 200 years or whatever, but that's the major question. If non-feral ghouls can reproduce, and if their genetic structure hasn't changed so much, then I would still consider them part of the human species. But if their DNA has changed dramatically to the effect that they could have evolved through genetic mutation into a completely different species, especially if they can't reproduce, or even more so, if they can't reproduce with humans but can reproduce with each other, then they would be their own species. But as for synths and super mutants, I do think of them as different species to human. Super mutants because, they're different in every single way. And then synths, because they're just biologically different. They can't reproduce with humans. Now, I don't think they should be treated different. But I don't think that we could say that they are exactly the same. So I think they should be, especially if they're peaceful and they're not violent, then super mutants and Gen 3 synths and non-feral ghouls should be treated with the same level of respect and consideration as any other human being. Unless they warrant not being treated that way by becoming violent or breaking laws and so on and so forth. Thank you for the tip, Victor. Brother Marcus says, Power Armor Edition pre-ordered. Adam Cat's shirt arrived. Cohiba Esplendidos en route. And I've caught Oxhorn live. Best week ever. Hope there are plenty of lore videos for you to delve into with Fallout 76. Me too. I can't wait. Lots of great taste you just exhibited there, Brother Marcus. Arnwald says, hey, Oxhorn, in reply to your lore point, fair enough, but how is it possible if, by the lore, super mutants are not out for more than at least 1 year in the Fallout world? They already appear in Fallout 76. Extremely easy. This is easy to solve because there are super mutants in the Capital Wasteland. And there are super mutants in the Commonwealth. How did they get there? They didn't trek across the continental United States. No, there are super mutants in the capital wasteland because there was an experiment with FEV on human beings in Vault 87. The result of that experiment was a new generation of super mutants who were much less intelligent than the Gen 1 super mutants that the Master created. Those were released to the capital wasteland. The reason there are super mutants in the Commonwealth is because the Institute created them in a similar way by experimenting on human beings with FEV. When you find the FEV lab in the bowels of the Institute, we find a bunch of holotapes that tell this entire story, along with one terminal. For hundreds of years, the Institute, under one director after another, thought that using FEV on human beings was the way that they could create their superhuman. And so they went out into the wasteland and kidnapped people to bring them back to the Institute, inject them or douse them with FEV, and turn them into super mutants. That's where Swan came from. He used to be a janitor in the Institute, but he was caught smoking cigarettes when he shouldn't have been, and so they turned him into a super mutant. Anyway, the super mutants we find in the Commonwealth did not come from the Master. The super mutants we found in the capital wasteland did not come from the Master. And the super mutants we will find in West Virginia did not come from the Master. That doesn't break the lore, it writes the lore. It's a completely new part of the lore. Jason with a wonderful tip says, Oxhorn, thanks for all of the awesome content you've been making, and thanks for all of your E3 coverage. You are the best YouTuber around. Well, I am flattered. Thank you very much. I tried to cover E3 because I wanted to hold back on what I said about Fallout 76 until we had facts. Because there was a whole lot of rumors swirling around right after the announcement, and so I kind of laid low, just produced my normal content, and then E3 happened, and of course I wanted to cover it. So I'm glad you enjoyed those videos. I'm also really glad E3 is over, because now I can return to my regularly scheduled content, and we can get back to doing what we love to do best, and that's to tell the lore of awesome video games. Wow, even when I do nothing but answer questions, I can't get to all of them. Now, thank you very much if you tipped, and I'm sorry if I couldn't get to your question. I'm going to scroll up if I can see if I can find any. Crichton says, I've been out of the loop. Is 76 just going to be Rust and Fallout? No, not at all. It's a very different game. It's not reminiscent of Rust in any way, other than that it is a multiplayer game. It has elements from many online games that we've seen. It has events like Destiny. It has settlement building like Fallout 4, but the cool thing about settlement building is that the settlement stays with you, so it can't be attacked while you're offline. So you build your settlement, log off, it disappears, log back on. It appears again, and you can move it. So a lot of really cool things there. The way that you spec your character is completely different from Fallout 4. Instead, you get a series of special cards and perk cards that you unlock as you level up your character, and then you can only have 1 or 2 active, or 2 or 3 active at a time. When I saw that in the documentary, I'm like, wow, this is completely changing the way that you build a character, and it's going to be really interesting. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work. Heroson says, at first I was incredibly disappointed with Fallout 76, but I realized I loved the series enough to give it a chance, and now I'm super excited. Well, I'm glad that you're thinking that way. It's always better to be optimistic. See, people will say, well, if I don't expect much, then I'm never disappointed. No, it's the opposite. If you're too cynical, then you're always disappointed. Even if the news comes out and it's really, really bad, you've been disappointed all up until that time. Whereas if you're optimistic, then you only get one moment of disappointment. If it comes out and it's horrible, you're disappointed at that moment. But all up until that point, you've been happy. Whereas if you're cynical, you're upset and unhappy for the entire time. If it comes out and it happens to be good, great. But you've been miserable for months. Why be cynical? I'm happy to risk a little bit of disappointment when the game comes out, rather than live the next 3 months of my life just, hating it and just talking how horrible it's gonna be and just not wanting to do it and making fun of those people who actually Why live your life like that? Xeed says, Ox, will you ever do Fallout 1, 2, or Tactics vids? Yeah, they are on my agenda. Of course, the last time I said that I would do that, I didn't know Fallout 76 was going to be coming out. That changes my schedule a bit. I still have so much to do for 3, New Vegas, and 4. And with 76 coming out, I mean, I'm gonna have to focus on 76 when it comes out. I mean, I just have to. When 76 comes out, I'm likely going to be doing daily live streams of Fallout 76 until I, acquire enough content and enough footage to start making lore videos about Fallout 76. The interesting thing about this is I have to level my character until that character is strong enough to survive. There aren't going to be console commands. There's no crutch that I can use to, fast forward through a quest or give me caps I need to buy something or change my faction with my reputation with a faction in order to gain access to something. I've got to do everything the old-fashioned way by playing the game, so it may be slower that I come out with content. And I think I'll probably get around that by doing live streams of Fallout 76 for at least a week or so until we kind of, all get our feet wet, and then producing 1 or 2 lore videos a week on Fallout 76 as I collect content. While also doing all of the other games, I still have to do 4 storylines of Fallout New Vegas as well as other locations. I still have to do the full story of Fallout 3 and the Broken Steel DLC, in addition to dozens and dozens of other locations that I haven't tackled yet. Then I need to do Far Harbor for Fallout 4, which I haven't done yet, and a bunch of other... I've got a lot to do. So I do want to do Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. In fact, I toyed with doing Fallout 1 really soon, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So stay tuned. We'll find out together. Forza says, "Hey Oxhorn, how are you? Finally caught a live stream. Yay. I'm doing really good. Glad having the program. Got my scotch, got my cigars. We're all having a good time." Sintress says, "Oxhorn, do you think there is a crashed space station in Fallout 76? I not only think, it is confirmed. You know that big circular thing that I thought was maybe some sort of, a pre-war nuclear bunker or something? A fan during one of my live streams says, Oxhorn, it kind of looks like a spaceship. Then when we watched the no-clip documentary, they confirmed it. They said that it was a crashed orbiting space station that crashed in West Virginia. We get to explore the ruins of a crashed orbiting space station, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, we will find that. As for other alien or space technology, I don't know. That's going to be really interesting. How do we have an orbiting space station like that in the same universe where Mothership Zeta has been in orbit around the Earth for hundreds of years? Remember, they first abducted their first victim back in the 1500s. They've been there for a long time. How did we have a space station orbiting Earth and not know it? Or maybe we did know it. Maybe the military did know that Mothership Zeta was there. Maybe they made an arrangement with the aliens on Mothership Zeta, and that's how they got the alien technology necessary for producing their plasma weapons. There's a lot that can be written there. After all, the pre-war culture of America knew the word Zetan. There was a game called Attack of the Zetans or something like that. Pre-war posters, movies, where they depicted the Zetans accurately. If you go into Nuka Galaxy, you see animatronic models that depict the Zetans as they are and look in real life. How could they do that if they didn't know they were there? Maybe the military did know that they were there, and they disseminated enough information so that the population as a culture kind of had an idea of what these Zetans looked like, even if they didn't know whether or not they were there. Lots of stuff to go through. Plarby says, "Boss, I may have a problem. I may have pre-ordered the game. Help?" Look, I don't have anything against people who want to pre-order the game. That's your choice, and I'm not going to denigrate that choice. I personally don't like the idea of pre-ordering games, but that's my personal choice, You don't have to apologize for what you've done, and you certainly don't need my help. If it makes you happy to pre-order the game and be happy. Deathstorm says, "Hey Oxhorn, do you think that Bethesda will find a way to make it so that if you are unarmed and don't have a weapon, that another player can't harm you?" I don't know, and so I'm not going to speculate on it. But what I will say is that Todd and Pete and anyone who has talked about Fallout 76 at E3 has gone out of their way to say that they hate griefing and that they are trying to figure out ways to reduce or eliminate griefing. One of the ways that they talked about was making certain safe zones, like the exit to Vault 76. They don't want people camping outside the vault, picking off players as they emerge into the world for the first time. So that's going to be a safe zone. And he said that there were going to be others around focal points where there are big quest and storyline places. Maybe that'll be around the hub. There's going to be something called a hub where you can set up merchants and exchange with other players. Maybe that will be a safe zone too. I don't know. Kind of like Dalaran in World of Warcraft. I'm not sure. But I'm sure that there are any number of creative ways that they can go about trying to make an all PvP game playable for people who don't like doing PvP. One other thing he said is that there is going to be a wanted system. If somebody does player kill other players too much, especially the same character over and over again, he begins to collect a bounty. And that increases the incentive that other players hunt him down. And every single player playing on a server can be seen from the map, so there's no hiding. So that is certainly a deterrent. If you're a player killer and you just get I'm not going to, it's too coarse. But if you really enjoy killing other people and that's how you play the game, you can only do it a few times before you become the biggest target on the server. And everyone, player killers and normal players alike, are going to be gunning for you to get that reward. That may be enough of an incentive. I don't know. Evan says, it's an online survival game. It being a non-stop griefing engine is a foregone conclusion. Remember, this is the internet. I don't buy your logic. I appreciate your opinion, but I don't buy it. And thank you for the tip. But the reason I don't buy it is because, yeah, this is the internet, and what we're doing right now is also the internet. Like, this conversation is the internet. My Discord server is part of the internet. And people have an opportunity to optimize the communities where they have an influence in such a way to discourage poor behavior, whether that's through a series of automated bots that remove people for swearing or picking on each other or whatever, or whether you've got moderators who are actively moderating a server. There are many places on the internet where children are safe to explore. They can play games that are suitable for them. There are many places on the internet where people can go to interact with people of a like mind, to share ideas without, worrying about, being rejected from that community. In such a way, just because it's the internet is not a good enough explanation for why there's no possibility for Bethesda to come up with a way to reduce griefing in that universe. To completely forego any thought that that might even be possible is based on faulty logic that can't be proven. You cannot prove that just because it's the internet or just because it's a survival game that there's just going to be horrible griefing, and there's no way to get about it. There's nothing any human being on this planet could ever think of, no genius invention, no creative strategy to reduce griefing in a video game because it's the internet and it's a survival game. I don't buy it. I think that there are a lot of really intelligent people out there who play video games and make video games, and they may have come up with something that I never thought of before. I'm willing to admit that possibility. Cal says, I wouldn't be surprised to see players band together in a Minutemen concept and hunt Raider players. I mean, yeah, there's always that option. Maybe it won't need to be policed by Bethesda. Maybe it'll be policed internally. Maybe every single server is going to develop its own Minuteman-type faction where people who want to play the game with each other without being griefed or griefing others can form some sort of community. And you've got these, well, they did say that parties can only be 4 players. So maybe you could have multiple parties of 4 players in each party who communicate with each other and band together, and anytime somebody increases their wanted level past a certain point, drop what they're doing, hunt down that player. Maybe that's what will happen. Who knows? But it kind of sounds fun, right? Brad says, hey, your videos are premium content, but I wonder what you watch, be it TV or YouTube. Tell you what, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I have found a channel recently. Oh, what's it called? And I forgot the name. Something People. It's an urban exploration channel. And I know I probably should have been into this a long time ago based on what my interests are, exploring video games, but I really haven't. Like up until this point, I didn't What's the name of the YouTube channel? The Proper People. There are a lot of urban exploration videos on YouTube that I didn't like too much. Didn't like the shaky cam. But The Proper People on YouTube, it's almost like a TV series. They really put a lot of great production into the work, and they've explored abandoned nuclear silos, an abandoned subway station in Cincinnati, which I found fascinating. They camped out on an abandoned Cold War era satellite array in I think it might have been West Virginia, honestly. Those are the only 3 episodes I've watched, but that is what has been capturing my imagination recently. So they're really great. If you like that kind of stuff, Urbex, go check them out. They're on YouTube. And then aside from that, I like to watch reruns of stuff I've already seen. I watch a lot of Faulty Towers, The IT Crowd, Foyle's War. Sometimes I'll catch an episode of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, which is funny. Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time watching stuff. Usually I'll watch something if I'm waiting for a video to render, honestly. Because if I'm not here on my computer, I'm playing with the kids or spending time with my family. So I don't have a lot of time to watch something. It's usually when I'm waiting for a video to upload or render or something like that. Mike Moose says, "Hey Oxhorn, have you seen any Fallout Cascadia or Fallout Miami? What's your thoughts? I get asked this question a lot, so I should probably learn more about both of those mods so that I can comment intelligently about them, but I really haven't. I mean, aside from comments like yours that ask me about it, I haven't seen any videos. I appreciate the creativity of a player and a modder who wants to sit down and create their own little world using an engine, like Fallout 4. And so from a creative standpoint, I really love that creativity. But from a lore standpoint, I already know that it's not going to be canon. And that kind of kills some of the joy of it for me. So I probably wouldn't ever sit down and play Fallout Cascadia or Fallout Miami just because I know that whatever awesome story I happen to discover in that wonderful experience, it's not going to be Fallout canon. And I can't explain why that bothers me. I can't explain why it turns me off, but it kind of does. So I prefer to spend my time in the canon world so that I can build up a library of canonical lore and continue to produce this online video encyclopedia of Fallout lore that I'm trying to do with my channel. Dawson says, remember, most Fallout fans don't want griefing, and they won't grief others, so if everyone plays it, the griefers will be outnumbered. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, this is the way it's going to work. If Fallout 76 ends up being a welcoming environment for griefers, griefers will proliferate. Whereas if Fallout 76 makes it hard to be a griefer, griefing will be very rare. The thing about griefing is it attracts people who like the short way out, because it's a lot harder to establish communities and make friendships and build, settlements and negotiate with others and trade and all of that. That takes a lot of effort. You're really building something by doing all of that in an online game. It's much easier to just pull out a gun and start shooting people. And some people can get a real thrill out of that. But those kind of people don't like to work at it, in my experience. So if you make it really hard to grief and get away with it in a game like that, you're going to cut down on a lot of it. Now, you will find the people who really like that challenge, and they'll continue to grief, and they see it as a real challenge, and they get their big thrill from successfully griefing other players and getting away with it. So it's not going to eliminate griefing. And I'm not suggesting that Fallout 3 could ever be free of griefing. I think it will exist somewhere. But if you have enough deterrence and you make it kind of uncomfortable and hard for griefers to exist, then you're going to get less of it. Dave says, first time showing my appreciation. Thanks for getting me through my work shift. You're welcome, Dave. Thank you very much for your wonderful tip. Evan says, hey, Ox, how long have you been playing video games? It's off topic, but you should make a video about your life and the decisions of you doing YouTube. I mean, I don't know. I'm not interested in making that kind of content. I don't mind talking about it, like during my live show, like now. This is an excellent opportunity to talk about those kind of things, but I don't want to make a video about me. First of all, I don't think people would find it interesting. Second of all, it's, I change a lot, and then I change from day to day, so that video would be outdated. And I don't want to be constantly coming up with, here's the latest news about me. Here's what I'm going through right now. I don't like watching that kind of content on other channels, and I don't want to produce that kind of content on mine. I want to keep it about Fallout. Hope to see you out in the wasteland. Already have some friends wanting to make the Bushtail M promote trade help survey. Well, I don't know what that is. Is that a West Virginia cultural thing? Jason says, Ox, thanks for all the awesome content you've been making, and thanks for all of your E3 coverage. You're the best YouTuber around. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the tip. Brandon says, hey, Oxhorn, what made you start doing videos on LA Noire? Before you were pretty much a Fallout-only channel for a couple years now. Love the vids, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing Fallout exclusively on this channel since April of 2016. I believe that's when I published my first Fallout video. And I wanted to see how something else would do on my channel. I love Fallout. I'm going to continue to do Fallout. This is going to be a Fallout channel. But, you know, I'm a gamer, just like many of the other gamers. And I don't want to just play Fallout. I want to consume Fallout and digest it and learn everything about it. And also do a few other things on the side. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to do my LA Noire series. People have been enjoying it. I kind of teased the waters with one episode to see how people liked it, and people were really receptive to it. So I'm going to continue to do that series slowly while producing a lot of other Fallout content. Then when I finish LA Noire, you know, maybe I'll look for another game to sort of do. Metro Exodus, for example, sounds really interesting to me, so maybe I'll do some Metro. Sintress says, Oxhorn, if/when private servers become available, would you set up one for this Discord channel? I'm open to the idea. I'd have to learn more about it. The problem is that Bethesda has already said that servers will be limited to between 25 and 30 players. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have my own server if I'll be limited to only 25 to 30 players. I understand why they're going to do it. It's going to make the server more stable. But I've got a lot of people wanting to join a server, many more than 25 to 30. So if I were to make my own server, the vast majority of people who want to play with me would be very disappointed. It's not very good for my brand, right? To go out of my way to do something for the community and most people won't be able to enjoy it doesn't make any sense. Paladin Gray says, Oxhorn, please explain why you pick a female character in the game. It bugs me to no end not to know. You know, it's something I never really thought about. Until many people started to make comments in my videos noticing that there were many women in my games. And the reason, I guess, is because I'm thinking of it through my entire history as a gamer. I never played a female character in any video game up until I started making Fallout 4 videos. The first time I played New Vegas, I played an elderly man with gray hair. Then, after I finished New Vegas, I said, okay, well, what's the absolute opposite of an elderly man with gray hair? Let's do, you know, a middle-aged woman with blonde hair. And so that's when I made Sweets. I didn't do it because I wanted to play a female character. I did it because it was new and different. Then I made my Brotherhood of Steel character, and I said, okay, well, I did my female character in Fallout 4. Let's do a guy character now. So I made him a guy. And then I made my Institute character, and I said, all right, I've got my guy character. Let's go back to a female character. So I did my woman character, and she was an Insta character. Then I was going to make my railroad character a guy, but I made her while I was doing a live stream. And so I decided to take a vote. I said, all right, what do you guys want? Do you want a male or female Soul Survivor for this character? And overwhelmingly, you guys voted for a female character. And then you also helped craft her appearance as well. So yeah, I ended up with 3 women characters for Fallout 4 and only 1 man character. But it was almost kind of like happenstance, how that all came about. Kyle with a tip says, do you have a favorite Scotch list? Not really. I tend to get Glenfiddich, Laphroaig, Glenlivet, Lagavulin. That's about it. Doug with a wonderful tip. Thank you, Doug. Bombicus says, I play Grand Theft Auto, and the griefing comes in waves, where someone finds a way into God mode menu until it fixes it. Someone comes out with something that lets you use console commands, and it's like hell for a week. Well, we have to remember that that's a completely different game. You know, just because griefing exists like that, because of a developer oversight in one game, doesn't mean it's going to be that way in another. There are plenty of other online games where griefing is not really that big of an issue. I've played a lot of Overwatch, for example, and it's also a completely PvP game. There's not a whole lot of griefing, not a whole lot of opportunity for griefing, based on how that game is designed. Of course, it's a very different kind of game. It's not an open world game like World of Warcraft or Vault 76. But, I mean, there are ways to do online games to reduce the amount of griefing in them. So we have to make a decision. We either decide to be optimistic and hope that Bethesda's going to figure it out, or conclude that they're not. Because other games couldn't do it, Bethesda won't be able to do it. But we're having faith one way or another. We're either hoping for the best or hoping for the worst. And we can choose what we want to do. It's up to us. Commander says, here's $10. Not sure if you answered this, but why the name Oxhorn? Do you like real-world oxen? Okay, well, thank you very much for the tip. The reason I named myself Oxhorn is because, this name goes back over a decade. In the early 2000s, I was playing a game called Dark Age of Camelot. In that game, even though I wanted to play Albion or Midgard, I ended up playing Hibernia because my brother was playing Hibernia. He wanted to be an elf. So I played Hibernia. I didn't want to be an elf. I wanted to be, like a big monster. So I chose to be a Furbolg. I chose to become a Furbolg hero. And the Furbolg hero in Dark Age of Camelot had a special ability to turn into a giant stag. So I named him Staghorn because he could turn into a giant stag. Then World of Warcraft came out, and I wanted to play the closest thing to that character. There wasn't really anything, but the closest I got was a Tauren Druid for the Horde, because you've got an ox. He's not really a stag, but it's a cloven-hoofed animal with horns. He's an ox, and he can shapeshift. So then I had to name him, and I'm like, well, the other guy was named Staghorn. This guy's part bovine. I'll name him Oxhorn. And then I started making videos for World of Warcraft, and I didn't know what to call my YouTube channel, so I just named it after my character from World of Warcraft, and I just called myself Oxhorn. Once you name yourself on the internet, you're that forever. You establish a brand identity, and then you can't really change that. So I'm Oxhorn over 10 years later. Hey, Ox, what do you think? We'll be using caps in Fallout 76, and so there won't be any NPCs to purchase anything from? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's been confirmed. We may not be purchasing things from very many NPCs, but players can become merchants. There will be an economy in Fallout 76, but the economy will be player-based. we will specialize in certain skills. We'll be able to craft certain things and then set up shops. There's going to be one central marketplace called the Hub, and we could either stand there to sell our goods, or they even said they may toy with the idea of building a robot to represent your character while you're offline, so that you can continue to sell things and build revenue even when you're offline. So yeah, there will be caps. Thank you for the sponsorship, Dan Bragg. I do appreciate it. Callahan says, personally, I play as a female character because I like Courtney Taylor's voice acting better than that of Brian T. Delaney. P.S. The H is silent. It's not Callahan. It's Callahan. Oh. Sorry, Callahan. Yeah, I mean, there are many different reasons why one may choose to play as a female character. The voice actor is a great one. Michael says, hey, Oxhorn, what's your favorite Fallout settlement or group of survivors in any game and why? Well, okay. So in Fallout 4, what's my favorite settlement? It would be like Nordhagen Beach, Croup Manor, anything by the sea. I love any settlement by the sea. But in terms of groups of survivors in any game, I really love the Minutemen, as I've made clear in many videos. I like and I'm disappointed by the NCR all at the same time. Like, I like how successful they've been at trying to restart society. They've been extremely successful to the point where people are able to have salaried jobs. I mean, it's the post-apocalypse, and you've got an office worker sitting in the Crimson Caravan office wearing a suit and tie, running figures and managing a business. And that's in the post-apocalypse. They've done a great job of rebuilding society in that way, but of course that has come with a lot of other corruption. So they're certainly not my favorite faction, but they have done a really good job at that, so I like that about them. I mean, really, those are the only two factions I'm thrilled with. And I'm not even thrilled with the NCR. I like the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 3. In New Vegas, I'm like indifferent. I don't think they're horribly evil, but I also don't really think they're interesting or good in any way. That, of course, was by design. Jacob says, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but what's your real name? My real name is Brandon. I mean, I've let that known for a long time. I think I've even got it on some of my online profiles. My name is Brandon. You can call me Oxhorn or Brandon. Doesn't matter. Bombicus says, I wasn't hoping for the worst, just saying someone could really mess stuff up if they could cheat their way with control commands for the Horde. Also for the Horde, he says. For the Horde, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to have console commands in Fallout 76. I'm confident that we're not going to have any kind of console command in Fallout 76. They're going to do their very best to limit cheating in an online game. It's not going to be like any of the single-player Fallouts we've played. So, no console commands to make yourself a god, or put items in your inventory, or give you caps and ammunition. You will have to go out and find and earn everything you have, or buy it with a microtransaction before you can play it. Mr. Classic Boy says, do you think it's dumb that you can take other people's stuff when you die? You can't. They've also explicitly said that you don't lose anything by dying in Fallout 76. The only penalty you get for dying in Fallout 76 is the time you lose, traveling presumably to the point where you once were. I'm assuming you'll respawn back at your settlement or some other place that you've, maybe the hub. But no, they can't loot your inventory off of your body. Or loot the inventory off of your dead corpse. So you're not going to go out there like in Ultima Online with a really rare weapon and then die and then all your possessions are gone because somebody stole them. It's not going to be like that. You do get caps for killing enemies, and presumably those caps, I don't know how those are rewarded. I know they're not taken off of the person you killed because you don't lose those by dying. Maybe there's some god in the game that just gives you caps or something. Maybe the game just grants you with caps for killing this player. I don't know. As long as there are no items like in GTA, like online jets or flying cars, probably not going to be that much griefing. But the nuke is kind of like GTA. Well, so Todd also said in an interview, I'm really glad I watched all these interviews because I can answer all your questions. Todd said in an interview that there will not be any vehicles in Fallout 76. I was really glad to hear that because I think walking and slowly taking in the wasteland is one of the charms of the Fallout franchise, and I don't think they wanted to lose that. So there will not be any vehicles. Does that include the vertibird? I think it does. I don't think we're going to find a vertibird in Fallout 76. So that means you're not going to, have someone in a vertibird Gatling laser, using a Gatling laser to destroy you from the air. We don't have to worry about that sort of thing, or running into you with a motorcycle or an ATV or some sort of nuclear powered car. There is the nuke event, but even then, both Todd and Pete Hines clarified that the point of the nuke that you can launch isn't to kill other players. You can kill other players with it. If anyone is in the vicinity of the nuke when it lands, they'll die. But the point of the nuke is instead to create an end game for Fallout 76. It's to create a high-end zone that has its own unique flora and fauna depending on where the nuke lands. It's also a temporary high-end zone. So you launch a nuke, the nuke hits, and then there's this new high-end zone that lasts for a short period of time. So everyone on the server then goes to this place to collect rare resources, kill rare monsters, collect rare goods, but then the land begins to heal itself and that zone disappears. So to get a new high-end zone, you gotta launch another nuke. That's the point of the nukes. Yes, people in the path of that nuke will die, but the point is not to attack enemy camps. Brandon says, "Hey Oxhorn, perhaps the caps you earn by killing are a bounty put on the player killers." That's a great thought. I hadn't put those two together. That's probably what it is. P.S. Glad to hear there's someone I respect that shares my name. That's great. I feel bad because my son went to school and he came back complaining about this kid named Brandon. And this kid wasn't bullying my son or anything, but this other kid was getting in trouble by some of the teachers at school. And so my son was talking about this kid named Brandon that was so bad. Teacher's always getting on his case. And then I said, well, my name is Brandon. He was shocked. But you're daddy. You're not Brandon. He got really upset. He's young. He's only 5 years old, so he doesn't know he doesn't really understand yet. But, well, I'm glad at least somebody has a positive correlation to my name. Evan Yeezy says, and here I was hoping to do a drive-by into someone's settlement while cruising on a moped. Wrong game. Go to GTA for that, I guess. Heroson says, hey Oxhorn, I'm so happy with the way they chose to do microtransactions because you can still get the stuff through playing and it's all cosmetic. I agree. I think that's exactly the way to go about it. I don't think you can anger anyone by doing it that way. Yes, they're going to have microtransactions, but everything you can purchase is purely cosmetic, doesn't change the way the game functions in any way, and you can always earn anything they're going to have for sale in the microtransaction shop simply by playing the game. And that's the way they do it in Overwatch, and I love it the way they do it in Overwatch because I can always just play the game to earn loot boxes. And then I can purchase anything, or have a chance to purchase anything I want. What I wish they changed it in Overwatch a little bit instead of just getting a random chance in a loot box. I wish I could choose the item I want. So I'm hoping that's the way they do it in Fallout 76 instead of loot boxes. Pepper Peppington says, do you think Fallout 5 will be a proper Fallout? He says. If by proper you mean as we're accustomed to, then yes, I do think so. One of the things that Todd has emphasized in many of the interviews that I've heard is that he wanted to try something new. Many people, when Fallout 4 came out, were saying, well, can we play multiplayer in Fallout 4? We wish we could play multiplayer in Fallout 4. They said, no, we have no plans for multiplayer in Fallout 4, but then they began to discuss how multiplayer would work with their Fallout 4 engine, and from that initial discussion came the seeded idea for Fallout 76. Now, that said, they're not doing this because every game after this is going to be like Fallout 76. They're doing it because they haven't done it before. They wanted to see what it would be like. They wanted to see how they could make a multiplayer game. Starfield, which they also announced at E3, is going to be a single-player, massive world, just like all of the other sandbox open-world games that they've created. It's not going to be multiplayer. And this is his baby. This is something Todd has been dreaming about for a very long time. Skyrim 6, which they announced, is also going to be a single-player game, just like all of the other games that they've done. They also said many different times that they love the way that they do games now. They love the single-player experience. They love Save Player 1. They don't want to lose that, but they also want to try something new. And that's what they're doing with Fallout 76. It's kind of the same way with Fallout Shelter. And this is something I don't understand. Fallout Shelter is not a classic Fallout game. You know, it's a casual game. It's got a very different art style. Everything is side-scrolling. It's not your typical Fallout game. But when they released Fallout Shelter, nobody said, oh, that's it. That's the end. You know, Fallout is now completely ruined. No game after this is going to be our typical Fallout experience. It's not a real Fallout, etc., etc. But they realized that it was just something different that they wanted to try. They wanted to try a more casual Fallout game to see what that would be like. And that's what they did with Fallout Shelter. And it's been incredibly successful. More people play Fallout Shelter than all other Fallout games combined throughout time. So it's been extremely popular. But that doesn't mean that every game they're going to produce is going to be a cartoony side-scroller, right? So I don't think there's any reason to believe that every game from here on out that they're going to produce is going to be a multiplayer game. Why would we think that? Especially when they've gone out of their way to say that they still love the single-player experience, and many of the games they're currently working on that they're going to be releasing in many years from now will be single-player games. So yes, I do think Fallout 5 will be a single-player game like we're used to. Did I say Skyrim 6? I meant the Elder Scrolls 6. Yes. I know. I'm wow, all the Skyrim fans, the Elder Scroll fans, sorry, are they're sharpening their knives. Oh, Oxhorn said Skyrim 6. Ah, my bad. I meant the Elder Scrolls 6. My apologies. All right, I should probably get to the gameplay, otherwise we're not going to get there. So because I'm going to be playing a game now, I'm not going to be able to read as many of your comments as I typically do. So thank you all very much for the tips. If you continue to choose to tip, I appreciate it. I may not be able to see or answer your comment, but I do appreciate it. So I'm going to fire up Rage here. There's going to be a little bit of a silence while I get this all working. And then we can see if we can destroy this goblin creature or whatever this ogre is that I couldn't defeat last week. All right, cross your fingers. See if I can actually do this. Hold on a second. I gotta find it. Okay, there's my face. There we go. Found it. Twisted says, seeing that Fallout 76 is set in unaffected areas of West Virginia, you may see different seasons. Oh, this game is really loud. Hold on a second. I would love to see different seasons. That would be great. All right, let's turn that down, and then let's resume our campaign. Okay. Where are we? Okay, this is the door to that clinic or something. Oh, I'm not right at the... Oh, no, I went back a bit. Okay. Well, this is good. If the audio is too low, let me know and I'll increase it, okay? Well, I wasted too many bolts on that. I really love that. Yeah, this is Rage 1. I realize that it's not a modern AAA shooter. This was released in 2011, okay? And I'm sad I can't retrieve my my bolts. This is Rage 1, for those who are asking. I decided to play it after Bethesda announced that they were working on Rage 2. Doggone it. Trying to conserve ammunition. That's why I'm reacting so weirdly. Okay, I need to use my boomerang more. Let's go to my inventory. Is there a way to equip? My boomerang. How do I equip this? Equip this. It's already on. Let's unassign my grenades. Okay. Do I not have anything assigned? My one, no, not my one, but my biggest complaint with this game is they don't. One, two. Three, four. 5, 6, 7, 8. How do I use my boomerangs? Ah! Ah. Settings. Keyboard, mouse, controls, in-game controls. Quick save, quick load, weapons, fire, melee, reload, zoom, next weapon, previous weapon. Mouse 3, quick use, activate, Q. F1, F2, F3, okay. F1, F2, F3. Wing sticks. Oh, great. Ah. Fantastic. Yay, I figured it out. It helps to read. That's all I'm saying. It just helps to read. Okay. Now, to remember how to kill this boss if I ever get there. I remember this. Let's see how silent my wing stick can be. Whoops. Wow, I just went through 2 of them. But it worked. It is silent. That's good. Oh! Ah! Ah! Jiminy crickets! Any more? Okay. Find the defibrillator upgrade in the hospital, all right? Do I go up or do I go this way? Oh, and I don't have any in my inventory. I can't make one. I'm out of gears. That's right. Okay, it looks like I've got one way ahead of me then. Up the stairs and around the corner. You need VATS, Ox. Yeah. Now talk to me about my aim. I don't want to hear it. Oh, okay, save. Alright, I know where I'm at. Here we go. New save. This way I won't have to go through all of that again. Here we go. Hey, buddy. Alright. Yes! Oh! I thought I got it down. There we go. Okay. Oh, did I do it? That took me 30 minutes yesterday, or last week. 30 minutes. And I lost. Ah. It was horrible. And I can't get any more? Oh, at least I got this missile launcher now. Okay. Now what? Let's go on. Gotta find the doggone defibrillator. Hey, wait a minute. It's blocked. Or blocked it. What? What's what? What? Oh. Do I gotta jump on this guy? Oh no, this is open now. Okay. Crouch down. Super secret. Super sneaky. Switch to my shotty. No, not that. No, not that. No, that works. Pistol rounds, yes. Buckshot, yes. Oh, sweet ammunition. Scotch, yes. Ah, sweet godly nectar. All right. Dead? Dead. Save? Good idea. Let's save. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. J.K. Styles, the legend. Wish we could read the books we loot in this game. Bandages. Sweet. Okay, well now I understand. Now that I understand how quick saving works, or the quick inventory, I can actually use bandages now. I haven't used bandages in the game at all up until now because I didn't understand how it worked. Ah, sweet. All right, they're already equipped. Let's see. F1. Bandages. Now if only I could see where my life is. Does anyone see a life meter? F2, grenades. F3 is empty. F4 is my wing sticks. I'm learning. I'm learning how to play this game. Holy cannoli. Well, I almost went through all of my fat boys there. Why play Rage stealthily? I don't know how to play a game otherwise. I mean, okay, well, I guess on my Brotherhood character, I just wear power armor and rush in, but on every other character I've ever played, I always take time and I'm sneaky. Still don't know where my health meter is. No, it's not there, is it? What's that skull? Proof of bandit death. I guess those are quest items. What's that? Gauze sponges. An electrical wire kit. I need a gear. If I'm going to create one of those grinders, I've got to have a gear. They give me everything I need to... Yes, my defib is back. They give me everything I need except for the gear. I've got plenty of electrical wire kits. Okay, super stealthy, super sneaky. Oh, blood from the sky. Biological meat factory. Oh, bugs! Man, it must really reek in here. I hate how the crosshair goes away. Look at this iron sight. Look at that iron sight. It's too fat. That really annoys me. Do you see him? No, come on. And I can't loot the corpses of any of these guys. Oh, wait. I got cloth rags off him. Is that my health in the... Ox, have you saved? Yeah, I saved recently. I got that guy with my sniper rifle, but it's like it didn't even hit him. Okay. Well, before we go up, see if we can loot anything back here. What's that? Bandages. Ooh. Aw. Nothing down here. What a waste of an area. Oh, here we go. Cloth rags. Pathology, social, something. Gotta learn how to dodge those. Come on. Well, let's use my bandage. I'm pressing the same button that I threw the wing stick with, and I can't use my bandage. All right, let's just use. Use. Ah! Why is that so complicated? You are healed. It only matters when there's blood on the screen. Is that it, Soam? Ooh, it's a wintry wasteland. Talk about a nuclear winter. Survival guide. Moira Brown would be proud. Looks like we gotta go up. No money in that one. Can I go up again, or is this blocked? It's blocked. Come on! Yay, that did it. I've got 2 left. Why? Where's my shotgun in all of that? I was trying to get to my shotgun. Where is my shotgun? Four. Hey, thanks, new sponsor. Ooh, and the blood is sliding down the walls. Oh. Getting close. More wire kits, no gears. Ordnance pack? Defibrillator. Got it. Finally. What was that? Wish I had landmines. Ah! I'm pressing Q. Press Q to use bandage. That could drive a man insane. Press Q to press bandage. Ah. Okay, I survived. Now what? Oh, okay. Ooh, what's that? Some sort of tribal ritual thing? Could that have been done by the mutants? That's weird. Don't want to use all my kill bursts just yet. Oh. Small battery pack. Small gears. Finally. Oh, after all of that, should I go back and get those rooms? I can only build one lock grinder. Well, let's see if... Hardware packet. Can I build another one? Nope, still need the gears. RC car kit. Hammer. Now all I need is a magic helmet. Alright, I've got one lock grinder. Let's see if we can go back. No, I don't want to. Let's move forward. Thank you for reminding me to save. Okay. Now to find my car. Where did I park it? Oh, that's right. I parked it behind this, There it is. Wow, that just hurt my car. Okay. Just I can get my new defibrillator now.
need it back in one piece. Now, just stay still, and I'll get that defib upgrade installed. Shouldn't hurt too much.
Yay!
Okay, there you are. Now, you have twice the resurrection power. And I do believe that you will need it. Remember, the Authority is ruthless. Alone, it is only a matter of time before they get you. Your future will lay ultimately with the Resistance. But that isn't the path we need to take now. All right, I've finished analyzing the feltrite sample you brought. What the bandits are trying to do, successfully it would seem, is refine the feltrite into an explosive accelerator.
Ooh.
Very dangerous in their hands. This piece has been neutralized, but you best bring it to Clayton. He needs to know what he may be facing. Take it to him. Come again soon, my friend from the past.
Thank you very much. If my car will survive the trip, that's the big question. Look at it, it's on fire. It's on fire. I gotta get in and drive this thing. Oh, how am I gonna survive? Ah. Wow! Why am I so bad? Why am I so bad at that? Oh no, it's an RC bomb. No! It's an RC bomb. No! Oh, my car! Oh, my car! Get off of me, man! I'm gonna die and explode in a million pieces. Alright, let's try this again. Try this again. Load from checkpoint. What's the checkpoint? Oh. Oh, great. I'm right here with my mutilated car. Wait a minute. Can I... Didn't they give me a radio or something? Tow truck radio. Radio for calling a tow truck in the wasteland. Usable. I should probably be in my car, huh? Yeah.
Again, all broken down. No worries, I'll be there in a minute.
Ah, thank God. We survived. Let's repair. Oh, they already repaired me? Great. And I don't have anything. Okay, so I'll leave.
Glad you wasn't visiting old man Cavassier. He is a man full of knowledge. I'd listen to what he says if I was you.
I will. Okay, well, let's go find the mayor. Mayor. Just get my head. Where am I? Mayor. Okay. Mr. Mayor!
Very interesting and very troubling. Thank you for helping us with this. Take this for your troubles. You have proven yourself to be very capable and reliable, And best of all, you even came back alive. I'm sure Sheriff Black will have some work for you. You see, you're beginning to gain a reputation, friend.
Fantastic. Well, let's go to Sheriff Black. And then let's get some ammunition, because I'm out. Howdy, Sheriff.
You at the racing circuits yet? My supplies aren't gonna deliver themselves.
Oh, come on.
You at the racing circuits yet? My supplies aren't gonna deliver themselves.
I don't like racing. I don't want to do that. What other quests do I have? Sponsorship. Cuprino needed. Get a sponsorship. Oh, man. Have I done them all? Well, let's go turn in Sally's bounty first, because I know I've got Sally's bounty to deal with. Where was she? The bar. I need to find the bar. Well, here's the outfitters.
Care to browse my selection?
Yes, please. I need ammunition.
I have all the best supplies.
Fat Mama's schematic builds a pack of Fat Mamas that hurt like fat boys but keep moving until they hit a wall. Ooh. Pass through. I like that, but I've only got $200. Sentry bot schematic, wing stick schematic. Ammo. Why is this so expensive? Authority rounds, sniper rounds. I need more of those. Rocket steel-tipped bolts. I love these bolts. Those are expensive, though. 24 for 6. These are 12 for 5. These are 12 for 8. Out of money.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Let's go turn in our bounty. Maybe we'll get more money. I should have done that first, probably. Job board. Yay, we can get another quest. Mutant Menace. Mutants are destroying our water lines. We need a sharpshooter to provide sniper cover while our workers repair the equipment. If we don't stop them, the mutants will cut off water to Wellspring. If you accept, the job begins immediately. Sure. Yes, I have a sniper rifle with me. Let's do it. You just received a sniper rifle autoloader. Now your sniper rifle is semi-automatic. Sweet. Whoops, I let some out. Boss? This is the kind of mission I like. What's he shooting at? Oh. What are they shooting at now? Okay. Go! Whew! Got it. Okay, not too bad, right? What was I doing? Barkeeper, that's right. Bar, there we go.
You're pretty handy with those guns. I hope to see you again soon.
Did I get money?
I need the road safer for every bandit car.
Good. Well, if I got more cash, then I can go to the shop again. Let's try that job board again. That was easy. I didn't have to leave in my car. I like that. Job board. Caravan cover. Supplies are ready for delivery to Gun Barrel across the wasteland. The most dangerous part of the trip to Gun Barrel is the area right outside of Wellspring. We need sniper cover to ensure the caravan makes it out to the area. If you accept, the job begins immediately. Sweet. Let's do it. Probably should have saved, huh? Yeah. Hey, thank you for the tip, Clayton. Okay. There's the caravan. Well, I could have done that better. There's only one caravan guard left. I guess I can't kill them while they're moving. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, things. Got it. Did we do it? Hey! Okay, killed. Sadly, I didn't save 2 of them, but got through most of it. Sweet. What am I getting for all of this? More ammunition? No, I'm not. I'm using the ammunition they give me just for the mission. I don't get to keep any of that ammunition. Let's see if there are any more jobs.
Remember, working together benefits every citizen and makes this town stronger. Thank you for your attention.
Stolen merchandise. The Wasted Clan stole my booze, and I want revenge. A while ago, some wasted bandits hijacked a case of my best booze. I don't care about the booze. You can keep it if you find it. Okay, so my reward is booze. But I want you to kick their arses really well. Head west to the Wasted Garage and teach those bandits to never steal from me again. Find that booze and pay those guys back, and you'll be handsomely rewarded. So it doesn't start immediately. Okay, so I've saved that one. All right, well, I'm going to save now and end the broadcast. Been broadcasting for 2 hours now. I am going to get to work on recording more footage for the next full story of Fallout New Vegas series that I'm doing, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to have a new video for you Saturday morning. It's going to be another New Vegas video. It's going to be the second episode in my White Glove Society, small mini-series. So, new video on Saturday, new video on Sunday, and then a brand new New Vegas storyline series next week. Jacob says, you're getting more money by completing those job board quests. Great. Anyway, thanks for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I was happy to talk with everybody about Fallout 76. Had a great time. Thanks for watching me play Rage, and I'll see you bright and early Saturday morning with a brand new video. See you then. Cheers.